There we go. Welcome to episode 91 of Talking Shop with the Boss in the Box. And if you hadn't heard from us in the last few weeks, there's good reason for that. Lunchbox, what is that reason? You're muted, sir. Get with the program. Unmute yourself.
See, I'm so busy. Like I said, I'm fucking busy. I'm so busy that I can't even unmute my microphone. No, man, the new job just has not been conducive to lining up our schedules and whatnot. And rather than bring you guys a bunch of bullshit and, fake episodes, not be live, all the other things that you've come to expect from us, we decided to just go ahead and we'll guerrilla here and there until I get my set schedule down.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so right off the bat, and every single time they say that, let's fix things, let's try to fix things. Hey, does that work? How is that? Is that better? And muted. Oh my god, we fixed everything in pre-production. Okay. Oh, well, okay then. Oh, I see. Okay, everyone says much better. Let us proceed with the show. Yes, it has been a couple weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, since you have last heard our beautiful, wonderful, amazing voices. If you forgot who we were... Wait, Dave's muted again. What? Oh my god. What is going on here? This is ridiculous. Okay. Every time we try to do something nice, Al is... Okay. Hey, Al. What's up, man? As usual, nothing has changed. We are still trying to...
piece it together as we go.
Alright. How about this? This might work. Maybe I'm muted. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. But apparently, touchdown Niners. Thank you very much.
Touchdown Niners.
Okay. I've done everything I can so far. How is everybody tonight? We are talking shop with the Boss in the Box. Episode 91. You haven't heard us for the last couple weeks because we have been busy doing our thing. Mr. Lunchbox, what is that thing you've been doing once again?
I have been throwing cases around stores for Coca-Cola. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I'm merching for Coke out there. And, no, man, I get up a lot earlier as opposed to going to bed at 3 in the morning. I'm getting up at 4 in the morning. So doing a show at 10:30 on a work night, which they change lately, and is not conducive to, like I said, producing a quality product for you guys. You have all come to expect a certain level of quality, live, interactive, all of those things, and we're not going to give you a bunch of bullshit just to put out shows. So bear with us. The march towards 100 carries on, and we get a little bit closer tonight. Not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but like Brandon was saying, if you've forgotten who we are, I am one half of your humble, heavyweight, handsome co-host duo, the Lunchbox. That is one word, capital L, capital B. Thank you very much. Joined, as always, by my rowdy, rambunctious, ridiculous... Damn, I wasn't ready. And the myth, that guy over there who controls all the audio and does all the good things we do and sadly has to shoulder responsibility for when it goes bad. Brandon the Boss Blacker. Dude, the new intro and hold screen are awesome.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I figured the show needs a slight revamp. Hell, maybe next week our background will actually be a different color. I don't know. It's the year 2020. Who knows what can happen? I mean, by the end of the year, I could lose all my money. But let me tell you something about money, brother. Now,
we ain't got none.
You got more than I do. But I'll tell you what. You have more than I do because you deal with a certain individual who actually knows how to deal with money. Can you tell us a little bit about that, sir?
Yes, that particular individual is the first and to date only official sponsor of Talking Shop with the Boss in the Box. She is Leilani Mosinske. That is Leilonimosinske. Financial professional. You can give her a call at 510-571-7215. You can email her at Leilani, leiloni.wfg@gmail.com. License number 0M14654. You can also contact her at www.wfgconnects.com/Leilani M. Leilani is a financial services professional. What she's going to do is teach you how to save for a tax-free retirement, how to get out of debt, how to manage your money better, how to work on a budget, and basically how to enrich your life on the financial side so you can stop worrying about your finances and focus on having fun with your boys over here at Talking Shop with the Boss in the Box. Contact Leilani Mosinske for all of your financial services needs.
Hey, you know what, man? Like, as you were spelling out her entire name, I was just thinking in my head, Leilani Mosinske, Leilani Mosinske, Leilani Mosinske, get your financials in order. Woo!
Hey, what's up, Leilani? It's you in the chat.
Yes, indeed.
That's right. She is not only a sponsor of our show, she is also a valued listener of our show. I highly recommend her services. I believe highly in financial education and really wish it was something taught more in our schools, but it's not, so you have people like Leilani to turn to.
That's right. And the reason I am so bad at my money is because I just go out and buy shitty things. And one of the shittiest things that I bought recently was a McDonald's McRib.
Oh shit, we're gonna go there.
We're gonna go there because we've been going back and forth on Facebook
All week
about this, and I gotta tell you, man, you know, for years I've been hearing about this whole the McRib from McDonald's is amazing. I love this thing. I can't wait until the McRib is here. Well, guess what? I sat in line for 15 minutes. Waiting to get this McRib. I got my McRib. I got in my car. I drove over to work. I sat in my car and I ate this McRib. And it sucked. It was just, it's not good, man. It's basically like styrofoam with a bunch of barbecue sauce on it, man. It's fucking terrible. But
okay.
you have something else to say about that.
I, on the other hand, this is not my first year trying the McRib. I don't remember if it was last year or the year before when they brought it back. I drove to at least 3 fucking McDonald's locations in my local area asking if they had the McRib, and not a single one of them did. I'm seeing McRib commercials on my TV because I still have to watch commercials even though I pay $65 fucking a month for Hulu. And McRib is just teasing me over and over and over. So when I hear word the McRib is back on Wednesday, I tell my wife I need to get my hands on one, and we got to figure out where it's at. My wife, being the wonderful spouse that she is, this is one of the many reasons we've been married nigh 2 decades, is the fact that she messages me right back and says the McDonald's at whatever the address was in Modesto has it. Sweet. So the next day I'm out slugging cases for Coca-Cola, and she sends me a text message that she's in Modesto. Well, I figure I know why. I get home. I am pleasantly surprised by the fact there's a McRib waiting for me in the microwave. It's lukewarm at best. Now, I'm not going to reheat it because that's going to make, a not most pleasing consistency in the consistency form product any more pleasurable in consistency. So I just grab it, pickles, luckily no onions because that's not my bag, and I just take a big old bite, and I am reminded of being 17 again the first time I had a McRib. And I love McDonald's barbecue sauce. Like, they have no sauce that is better on your nuggets, that is better on a sandwich.
Well, I'll put something on your nuggets if you really need it.
My wife started laughing when I said that too. There's nothing that tastes better on your nuggets. So, the point is, the McRib is part of my childhood. I was happy about it. And I've been having AM PM rib, which are okay, but they're not the McRib. They don't have fresh sauce on them. They have sauce that has been sitting there baking for the last 9.5 hours, waiting for these people to throw it away.
Now, okay, let me tell you something about that, man. The reason why you had to go to 3 different stores for the McRib is because McDonald's realizes that it was trash, and they threw it in the trash. So you couldn't get your McRib because they threw them all away, man. They were bad, bad, bad. I personally, the AM/PM rib sandwich is just, it's tradition for me, man. Every time I go on a road trip, I have to go fill up. I go in there, I grab me a McRib, I'm sorry.
Oh! Call it a McRib because it's a fucking imposter.
Yes, but no. The rib sandwich from AM/PM has, oh my God, I'm stumbling over my words, has come out before the McRib. Now, Untrue. Really? Do tell.
Yes.
Can somebody in the comments or, Lunchbox's wonderful wife research when the McRib was originated and when a AM/PM rib sandwich came out?
See, I remember when the McRib first debuted, it was on the heels of the Flintstones movie. You remember the Flintstones movie?
Oh, yeah.
81 was the original McRib.
And they probably
1981.
And they probably made it right with real meat at that point.
So, well, yeah. Oh, I remember when McDonald's was one of the better quality burgers out there because it was real meat, but they were fucking tiny.
So I got to backtrack, though. In the comments here, Mr. Mike Vanek says he can eat 20 of them. Well, that's a reason why your ass has to go on keto, motherfuckers, because you're eating 20 goddamn McRibs.
And Leilani, as far as if you have cardboard at home, you can dump barbecue sauce on it and deliver it to me. Put your money where your mouth is. I know how far away you live. Bring me that cardboard and barbecue sauce. You show up at my door, I'll eat it. On camera.
I don't know, man. Those Amazon boxes are pretty delicious.
At least that's what your kid thinks, huh?
Yeah, when I'm buying them all those gifts.
Yeah, that's cool. Mine too.
All right, yeah, 1981 is the consensus. All right, you probably got that one. But the fact of the matter is, not a fan, man. I couldn't do it. Everyone else is like, OMG, this is the best thing ever. And it's like, cool. I could go down to AM/PM anytime all year long and get the same exact thing.
It's not the same exact thing because McDonald's has better bread quality that's usually not fucking dried out like AM/PM's is. And they have their fresh McDonald's barbecue sauce, which, like I said, the McDonald's barbecue sauce is one of the better things. I'm not like Mike Bennett. I can't eat 20 of them, and there are better things on the McDonald's menu. However, due to its limited availability, I am huge on the McRib.
Limited availability.
Hey, don't be mad because I can quick speak faster than you. And by the way, just going to go ahead and give a shout out early to our #1 fan and mascot, Jordan Marin Harrison. Good evening. We see you. We're over here arguing about a McRib, Jordan, and you want a shout out. These are serious global discussions.
Time and place, Jordan. Time and place.
You know what, Kanga Bear? It's garbage. I'm not going to deny that. It's pretty crappy, but I enjoy it, especially when it's fresh.
Okay. So Al Baker, he completely flipped the discussion. He says, bruh, In-N-Out.
What about it?
In-N-Out is wonderful, but I got a one-up on In-N-Out, and that's called Nations Burgers. If you've never had Nations, you are missing out.
I think Habit Burger's better than both of those. Nations was disappointing to me.
What?
I had a similar experience that you did with the McRib when the first time did I play? Was it D-Fest? The first time I went to Nations? No, it was when we played with Band of Orcs with Mutilate the Dead. Yeah, in 2009, I went to Nations around the corner from Oakland Metro, and Jen had talked up Nations to me. What was the one you preferred over Nations?
I don't remember.
Nations, and it was the other place you got a Reuben. So, Taxis. Jen preferred Taxis to Nations. However, I had always heard about these Nations giant hamburgers, so I went in and I got me one. And it was okay. Like, basic. I felt it was like Carl's Jr. almost. Just, yeah, like, disappointing.
Mike Vanek says, Nations is the best ever. Fuck you, Dave. Jordan pretty much agrees with that as well. Yeah, and
I'm with Kanga Bear though. Habit Burger. I think Habit Burger's better.
Nations BLTs are really good. Joanne says, "What's up, Joanne? How you doing? How you doing,
Madam J?
Madam J?
Joined by our resident madam, as it were. All right, real quick, I'm gonna segue here since we're never gonna settle the McRib because I like it and Brandon's wrong. So I'm gonna do something I normally don't do. We always play the game. What you drinking?
Yes.
So, Brandon, what you drinking?
Well, today I'm trying to clean out my fridge and just get rid of all the things that are still in there. So I still have a Heretic Evil Cousin.
Okay.
And it is delicious. Okay. What do you got, sir? I know you got something good. You always got something good.
I am going to let the audience make a decision between two beers.
Oh.
You can either choose between the brewery, bakery, oatmeal cookie, imperial stout brewed with oats and aged in bourbon barrels with raisins, cinnamon, granola, and natural flavors added. Or. And by the way, I've never had the brewery. So take that as you will for me swaying or not swaying you. As opposed to something I have had once. And that is Highwater Brewing Co.'s Campfire Stout S'more Porter Beer. Campfire Stout evokes fond memories of wilderness and camping adventures. Notes of chocolate and graham cracker, topped with a hint of marshmallow, will leave you wanting s'more. Like any campfire experience, this beer is best shared with a warm circle of family and friends.
You know what, man? I gotta say, a s'more-flavored beer probably tastes like the dirty asshole of somebody who's been camping for the last 5 days.
You've never had a s'more?
I've had a s'more, but a beer-flavored s'more probably...
Oh, it's a s'more-flavored beer.
Probably tastes like the asshole of somebody who's been camping for 5 days.
I've had it before. It's a good beer. Let's see. When we're playing What You Drinking, Mike Vanek's got the Metallica beer, the Enter Night, that you were not a fan of.
No.
But he likes.
Okay.
And then Leilani's rocking the breakfast drink today. She's got mimosas.
You're speaking my language, girl.
And then Jordan's voting on my oatmeal cookie beer.
Leilani says oatmeal, too.
Okay, usually I'd save that for an official review, but you know what? It's episode 91, people.
We are 9 episodes away from our 100 extravaganza, and you all know what's happening in episode 100.
Dude, I think we should make that an all-day live episode. Like, let's just come over to my house, and the whole episode will just be everything we do that day. Like, we'll play ping pong, we'll do the power hour, we'll cook.
I mean, that's cool. We can do that. I think time frame in it would be the best. So, it's like, all right, we're going to sit down and do this drinking thing at this time. Otherwise, we're just going to be chaotic for like 6 hours.
Well, it's like a party. The party starts at 6 and ends at whenever. By the way, solid. Very solid. Very cinnamony. You can taste the raisin, the oatmeal. Nice dark porter.
And just to call out Jordan, yes, indeed, she does have my autograph. I hooked her up with an autograph shirt and CD. So, good on that.
Tristan still wants his beanie. I'm sorry.
T-shirt. Joanna still says I'm gonna die. You know what?
Brett, you know what? He might. He bailed last time and he didn't get to die on camera.
Mm-mm. I
still got a couple months of calling people little Brandons, right?
No.
I thought I had 6 months.
6 months? When did we make these rules?
The day that when you called me and said you couldn't make it, and my counter was, okay, I'll live with that, but I want to be able to call people little Brandons when I mean little bitches for, I swear it was 6 months.
I don't know, man. You were drunk at Walmart, so I don't know if this is right or wrong.
I was not drunk at Walmart. I was actually in front of my neighbor's vacant house, which I'm hoping you'll just go ahead and buy already. So that way we can put a gate in the backyard. Me and Heather can grow a garden together. And, you know, our kids can, like, practice their karate moves on each other.
Growing gardens next to each other. Okay, anyway, so the real reason why we are here today is because, man, you and I have seen some shit, and we have seen some shit. And when I mean seen some shit, we've played some really shitty places, and we've played some really awesome places. We have seen shows at some amazing venues. We have played some amazing venues. And by playing, we're specifically talking about music, for those of you with a dirty mind. So this episode is all about our favorite places we have frequented for music and live shows, or places we played, or the worst and most terrible and least shitty experiences from venues that we just absolutely hate that we played or frequented at. So this is a fun one because you and I have both.
Can I give a little backstory?
One second. You and I have both been in the game for a very long time. So we have seen a lot of venues. We have seen a lot of shows. And if someone asked me to recollect all of the shows I've ever been to, I couldn't do it.
Couldn't do it.
Hell no. I couldn't
do it. Every time I think I finish the list, like another one pops up.
Yeah.
This was a hard list.
I couldn't recollect all the shows I've ever played. I played a lot of shows in a lot of different places. So you have a backstory on this that I would love to hear.
Well, you know this backstory. Now, where we came up with this topic was back on October 23rd this year. Suburban Paranoia and Nothing But Losers grouped up to play the Bandemic Showcase.
Yes.
Now, it was out of the storage facility our brothers in Glitch Kill use. And, of course, everybody knows Aaron Jones, our drummer in Losers, shares this place with Glitch Kill. Well, needless to say, between the pandemic itself and having to explain to you guys, via text, via phone call, via Facebook, and then, me basically throwing the pitch out there to you, come play this, but just shoving you on to Aaron because he wasn't too forthcoming with details.
Yeah.
It turned into a little bit of a clusterfuck, which, you got a little bit mad when you got there because things weren't quite as, originally talked about because, well, you guys had had a different plan that you wanted to roll with. Kind of came down to the last minute before we all shook hands and said, yeah, this will work. And, things kind of got muddled in the crossfire. And so while we're there, you and me start talking about things, and you were kind of like, man, this is going to suck. And I'm like, it might. It very well has the potential to. But you can't tell me this is the worst place you've ever played. And you got that hand up because we were having one of our rare real arguments. And, everything you guys see on here is bullshit. Me and Brandon mostly just talk down to each other because it's the interest of live broadcasting.
That's what happens when we're friends, man. You just talk down to your friends. That's how it works.
However, normally eye to eye, me and Brandon are actually really nice to each other, and it's ridiculous. You guys probably find it disgusting. But this is one of those rare moments we were kind of heated at each other, and we start talking. And I bring that topic up, and you get that hand up to fight back, and you just start laughing, and you're like, "No, by no means is this ever even kind of the worst place I've ever played. Like this isn't even that bad. It's just going to be an interesting deal because of all the bullshit we had to work out to get it to work."
Yes.
And so I brought up the topic, dude, for one of our next shows, let's do shitty venues. And then it got to be like, well, we don't want to be negative the whole night. And there's only so many bad venue stories we could share without wanting to kind of roll into good stuff. You compare the bad to the good.
Yeah.
So we just decided we were going to do our favorite venues and what we all consider the worst venues all in one show.
Yeah.
So that's what y'all get tonight.
and you know what? Just to kind of preface it back a little bit, like, I was mostly upset just because, like, I'm the boss, man. I do everything. I get shit done. So, you know, leaving details in other people's hands and then not getting all the information just makes me just go crazy. Go a little crazy. So, like, as we're going through the communications, I'm like, what about this? What about this? What about this? And I'm reaching out to Aaron, too. What about this? What about this? And I'm, like, getting nothing but, like, blank stares. And, like, it's like, I don't know what's going on. So I was getting upset because I didn't have the information I needed, and I had nothing to do with anything. And I usually have my little grubby hands involved with everything. And I didn't. And it drove me nuts.
I can relate, dude. Like, don't get me wrong. My wife will tell you I'm kind of a control freak myself. But I've learned over time, sometimes it's best to just be like, fuck it. Like, they got it. And between Brian Lewis, our guest on episode 90, go back and watch that on YouTube or listen to it on Spotify, Buzzsprout, Apple Music, or Stitcher. You know, between his capable sound and video abilities, Shane's capable video abilities, and the work ethic that the boys in Glitch Kill just have as blue-collar motherfuckers. Shout out to Travis and Travis and Crusher, because they're the only two I didn't mention yet. I was confident. However, you're not as tight with those guys as I am, so I understand the apprehension. I remember the whole time trying to talk you down, and you even be like, I'm sorry if I'm being a dick, and I'm just like, dude, you're being a dick! like, relax. Other people have it, you know. Not everything has to be under your power. And like I said, my Monday evening motivation will be covering that directly on Facebook after this show.
Don't be a dick.
No, failure. But you know, we were worried this was going to bomb all the way around, and it actually turned out to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. No, it 100%. The minute I saw the area, the stage area, and we got everything put together, everything was great. It was a good night. It was fun. It's just usually me, and I do this a lot. I overthink shit, and I just put it on display for the world to see, and then I look like an asshole afterwards. So that's usually how I work.
But it all worked out, you know. And dude, I know, and you pulled off some of the best things. Both, all three Devastated Fests were very well done, and you know, the first two, you had a lot of resources. You had a really huge team helping you out. The third one, you kind of swung at it alone and just relied on us to help you out. So I get the apprehension of big events, you know, and just after a while, you just throw it against the wall, see if it sticks.
Yeah.
Well, it did.
Yep.
But it led us to this discussion.
Yes. So,
which is where we're going.
Yeah. So this is going to be fun because I get to talk a lot of trash on some venues that I still think to this day are garbage. And let me give just a big disclaimer on the screen here and just say, I know it's COVID time. I know places are struggling. I know live music venues are hurting. I know musicians are hurting. I get it. But that doesn't mean that the experiences I had weren't true. So you're going to get some poo-pooing all over your venues, courtesy of the boss.
Hey, you know what, man? Places got to realize that as a customer or the talent, being from our viewpoint of both of those things, sometimes you're going to get a negative review. Now, sometimes that is unwarranted due to our own moods, and sometimes that is only warranted to the night because something went wrong, and sometimes your fucking venue sucks. And you need to stop doing sucky venues, though. We appreciate those sucky venues that still let us play. However, that doesn't mean it didn't suck. So, Brandon, without further ado, since you always give the bad news first, what is your number 5 worst venue?
Oh man. Okay, so way back in the day when I was kind of a young pup in the game of music. Probably somewhere around the vein of 2010. And when I say young buck, I mean just like I've been yeah, not as old as now. I've been doing this since I was 14. I've been booking shows, playing shows since I was 14. But doesn't mean I didn't make mistakes along the way. This was one of those mistakes. This was one of those situations where being a nice guy turned out to bite you in the ass. So every one of my venue stories has a personal thing attached to it that kind of doesn't have to do with the venue, more like the experience that went with the venue in addition to the venue. So my number 5 worst venue that I still do not want to play, and I'll pull a Tosh.0 and say, hey, you can get your web redemption if you really want to, if you'll have us back, but under our terms. This venue is the Pine Street Bar and Grill in Livermore.
Oh, the legendary Pine Street Bar and Grill in Livermore.
And I know that I am not the only one with negative inclinations towards this venue. So the story is this, ladies and gentlemen. So way back when Giving the Devil His Due was in version 2.0 with Joe Butler and some other members of the band, I had just started playing drums and singing and yada yada yada. None of that's important. Well, we were supposed to play second or third in a lineup of 5 when this douchey-ass band called Field of Stones, I know Mike Vanek knows who this band is, some douchey-ass band called Field of Stones came up to me and was like, hey man, so something happened and blah blah blah, we need to play now and then you guys can take our headlining spot. Now, you already know where this is going. Amateur ass move, and I was like, no, I don't like this idea, yada 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 yada, and I kind of fought him tooth and nail until the venue came up to me. The owner of the venue, I think her name is Chris or whatever. She came up to me and she was like, look, they had something going on, and this is kind of how she sounded. You guys need to take their spot, otherwise you could pack up and go home. And I was like, all right, cigarette voice, you need to just chill out for a second, and just... So I talked it over with the boys, and the boys were like, yeah, fine, whatever. We'll wait. So, obviously, as you expected, Field of Stones played in the spot we were supposed to play at, and sure enough, there's like 40 people in the venue rocking out to this band. And of course, as soon as they finish their set, everybody goes home. Everybody goes home. So, the only people that are still there through the band after them and then us are like 3 or 4 like late 50s barflies who probably have never heard heavy metal in their life, sitting at the bar drinking like Mai Tais or tequila shots or whatever the hell they're doing. But anyways, we finally get on stage. We finally get everything set up. We play 2 songs. And all of a sudden, all the lights go. The lights get shut off. Our equipment gets shut off. The PA gets shut off. Now, this isn't a power outage. This is the fucking owner of the venue shutting us down on stage because she didn't like the music and said that she couldn't hear her bar patrons ordering drinks, so we need to go home.
Ouch.
And for that reason, it's been 10 years and I have never set foot. Wait, I have. I went to a Toy Called God show probably about 5 years ago. But I have never set foot since then at the Pine Street Bar and Grill in Livermore. Fuck them. Maybe they can make it up to me by licking these balls.
Okay. there is one defense I have of Pine Street Bar and Grill. I played there one time in Brutal Innocence with My Heavy Memory and Punka Pilgrim from Modesto.
Yeah.
And which Punka Pilgrim were kids. Only 3 of the 5 of them were allowed in the bar. And always a good time with them. My Heavy Memory, local band, they had a great response. Brutal Innocence, we got up there. 10, 12 people, you know. But however, the one thing I will say in defense of them is their beautiful tribute to Nikki Lovato, the former singer from Falling to Pieces, who was local, who she tragically passed in a motorcycle accident.
I know Nikki, yeah.
Yeah. And their tribute was really cool. Like, I remember taking pictures of it. I thought that was really neat. I'd only met Nikki 2 or 3 times, and she couldn't have been nicer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't have quite that experience at Pine Street Bar and Grill. But yeah, for the legend that it held, I was unhappy with it. It did not live up to my expectations.
Mike Vanek also says she did that to her, his band when he was in Rebel's Mother. So she is just a piece of shit. You know, fucking over musicians left and right, man. So, you know, I don't mind spewing hate. Half the music scene seems to hate me anyway, so I don't give a shit about that.
Oh, that's bullshit, and you know it. You're one of the most loved people in Northern California, son.
I don't think so. But the reason for that is because I'm not afraid to speak my mind, which is why I got kicked out of certain clubs. But, anyways, the Pine Street Bar and Grill in Livermore.
Your number 5th worst venue.
Yes, indeed. So, Mr. Lunchbox, though, I know you got one. Can you please give me your 5th one? And I know for a fact that your stories aren't going to be as, I don't know, vile as mine.
Depends on what you consider vile, my friend. All right. Before I drop number 5, I want you all to know this place treated me well. I had some great moments at this bar. However, anybody that's going to tell me it didn't fucking suck outside of the bartender is foolish. My number 5th worst venue, the Spinnaker Bar and Lounge in Modesto.
Really? Okay. That's actually one of my honorable mentions.
Okay, for best or worst?
Worst.
Okay. Spinnaker's was home to a lot of good shows. I watched Mike Vanek bring the Athearchus there, where they brought their mobile van out, played out front, and they did like a 2-stage concert where stage used loosely, because at Spinnaker's they pushed the tables on what little dance floor they had, blocked off the dartboard, and let you put your shit on the ground, which, you know, that's typical. I can live with that. However, in order to get to the bathroom, you had to literally walk through the band that was playing at the time. And it was a dive bar, a very cheap dive bar, and you're looking up at the rafters, and they look like they're going to fall down at any given moment. There's a giant anchor on the wall. It looks like it's going to fall over on you. And when you're the drummer and you can't even dodge it. But not only did bands have to walk through the bathrooms, but at one of the bigger shows we ever played there, which was Eve Fest back in 2014, the toilet in the ladies' room overflowed and ran out on to the floor where the bands were playing and got onto the pedal board of the one and only Rosemary Curitan from Broke Note Undertone. And where she had to pull her stuff back to the other side of the stage, and between their set and my set, Eve is drunk as shit, standing over poor Keith, also drunk as shit, while he's wringing a mop, trying to clean up shit, piss, fucking toilet paper remnants, and all that good shit, while being like, Keith, if you don't clean it up, the band can't play. No! And, I mean, that alone just kind of finalized that as much as I loved it, and I had a great time most of the time I was there, Spinnaker's definitely gets the top 5 mention on my worst venues ever list.
Yeah. So it's on my honor roll mentions because I didn't think it was bad, but there's just like, number one, you hit the nail on the head. Any venue that's going to have any sort of live music in front of the bathroom is just weird.
It makes for an awkward moment at least once in everybody's set.
Yeah. And of course, the sound isn't good, depending on who brings what system. So
Didn't matter. Didn't matter. The place is not set up to sound very good, and if you bring enough to make it sound good, then it's all over the place. It's in your way. The 2 pillars that separated the bar from the stage kind of made it so only about 20 people could stand up near the band. Everybody else had to stand behind that pillar or kind of filter in, which made for people fighting their way to the bathrooms even worse. Worst part was when you were in a band and then you had to fight your way to the bathroom between sets, and you got other band members looking at you all weird and shit, and you're like, hey man, I'm sorry, I gotta pee before I get on stage. Like,
yeah, so I mean, the reason it didn't make my list is because like there wasn't enough bad. It wasn't great, but it wasn't like terrible either. So, but absolutely agree with you, which is why we go and we play it, right up the road there, right in the same parking lot.
Well, no, and Mike Vanek just said, hey, it was hard finding venues at the time. Bobby let him have bands there. But I remember I played at Spinnaker's one week, and then the next week was the first time I got to play at the other place. And you figure a place called the other place isn't going to be very great. I walk into the other place, and there's a half-decent stage, decent lighting, better sound, and a bar that is made for live music. And I just kind of walk out, and I look down at Spinnaker's, and I look back in at what I'm seeing, and I look back down at Spins. I'm like, hey, yo, why the fuck have we been playing down there for the last 5 years? What the fuck is up with this shit? Like, why is this a new thing?
Yeah.
And now the other place, even though it didn't make my top list, my list is all time. The other place currently is home, and I love it. But Spins, no, man. You get the thumbs down, baby. Even for all the good.
So we're going to plow through the worst first and then go to the best, or are we going to jump back and forth?
No, let's just plow through the worst.
Oh, man, okay. So,
if you want to jump back and forth, we could do that. I just feel it's more complicated.
No, you're absolutely right. Let's get the bad shit out of the way before we get to the good shit. So, let's do that. So, this might be a little bit of a controversial thing for me, but my number 4, and I had to do some real thinking here because there's good and there's bad, but all of my experiences have been bad over this venue. So, my number 4 venue is the Boardwalk in Orangevale. Now, I have had good experiences. Now, I will say one of my favorite experiences from the Boardwalk is seeing Every Time I Die There and Big Andy Williams, the Butcher from AEW, coming off stage and giving me the biggest sweaty bear hug I could ever imagine, which is amazing. And also seeing like Napalm Death there and Devil Driver, and so on and so on and so on. But as a performer, there was a lot of bad playing at the Boardwalk. Now there's good things. Let me just say this first. The good things are giant stage, big ass stage, fantastic sound, fantastic lights. Those are good things. That's where it just kind of falters. So, I have played the Boardwalk 2 times, and each time has been weird and awkward and just bad. So, I don't know if I've told this story on air. I know I've told you in person. But one time, in Giving the Devil His Due, there was a certain infamous sound man who worked for the Boardwalk. His name was Claude.
I've dealt with Claude.
Now, loading up, getting in there. So a little backstory to this specific show. So in order to play the boardwalk, you have to sell tickets to play. And the way they worked, at least at the time, if you didn't sell your tickets, you had to buy them. Otherwise, you couldn't play. Kind of a bum deal. So if they give you 50 tickets, you sold...
Whiskey a go-go deal.
Literally, yes. So you sold 20 tickets out of 50, you had to buy 30 tickets to play. Fucking bullshit. Bullshit. Yeah, Mike Vanek, fuck Claude. I think he passed away, though, so I'm not going to speak totally...
Was that Claude who passed away?
I think so.
I thought it was the owner of the boardwalk.
He might have, too, but I heard about Claude. But, dude, like... So, put... Little backstory to that, though. Selling tickets, obviously, at the time, me being the boss, doing boss things, you know, we drive up there. For us, it's about 2 hours, 45-minute drive. And we're like, all right, we're just going to get a hotel room. I paid for the hotel room. All right? You know, we sold probably 25, 30 tickets. I had to pay for the rest of the tickets, right? So, you know, getting up there, we set everything on stage. Mr. Claude's like, all right, well, I'm not going to mic your bass drum unless you cut a hole in your bass drum.
Oh, I remember. Okay, no, you did tell this on an episode, I believe.
Yeah, I don't remember, but...
you have to me, but go ahead, proceed.
Yes. So, you know, he's like, I'm not going to mic you unless you cut a hole in your bass drum. I'm like, I don't want to cut a hole. He's like, do you have a knife? I'm like, I have a knife, but I'm not going to cut a hole in my bass drum. He goes, all right. So he hands me the knife. He goes, all right, suit yourself. And I'm like, all right, fine. Give me the knife. Give me the knife. So on stage, I had to cut a hole in my own ass bass drum just to do that. So, and by the way, that bass drum fell to pieces throughout my set. Okay.
You're just supposed to cut a hole in the head, not the whole drum, Brandon.
Yes.
Fuck.
Fast forward to when we're actually playing. So, Claude at this point is probably fucking with me. So, I was the drummer, and he kept turning the monitors off so I couldn't hear the guitars. And all of a sudden, my guitar players, who were kind of amateur at that point, forgot to bring spare strings or spare guitars. One of them broke a string and couldn't continue playing, while the other one didn't know the other one's parts to continue playing. So after 2 songs, $550 later, and a cut hole in a bass drum, we had to stop our set. So I was pissed, and I threw a goddamn temper tantrum. I took my drums. I did a prima donna moment. I threw my drums outside, like literally tossing my drums. My hardware, my cymbals, my shells. I'm tossing everything. Like, fuck this, fuck that, fuck da 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 da. Like I am mad. So, yeah, man. That was my boardwalk experience. My other experience at the boardwalk was just, it was not that bad, but it just wasn't great. There was just nobody there, and it was just a bad night.
You know what? I'm really surprised at how this is going now, because we have done what we said we were not going to do in hopes, and we've actually crossed each other's lists, except the boardwalk gets the number 4 spot on my best venue list.
Ooh, okay. Go on.
All right. Now, as everybody knows, I grew up in the Central Valley, and I started really attending shows from like 2000 to, 2005 was when, if a show was happening, you might see your boy Lunchbox walking through. I used to go up to the boardwalk in Orangeville because there were all these, rising bands playing that were starting to get traction. Your Bullet for My Valentine's, your My Chemical Romances, et cetera, et cetera. This was a known venue. And so I went up there one night to go see Hostility, Innocence, Threefold, Fork Tongue, and Scribble.
Nice.
And so this is a fucking wall-to-wall stacked-ass lineup. And I go up to this, I go to shows all over NorCal, sometimes good venues, sometimes dive bars, sometimes cafes that just happen to let us play music. And this is a legitimate venue to me. And I walk in and the place is packed to capacity. There's 500 people there for local bands.
That's always a nice feeling.
Yeah. You know, fast forward a few years, I went and saw Twisted at the Boardwalk with Blaze Ya Dead Homie and Anybody Killer. I went and saw Apocalyptica at the Boardwalk with my boy Storm. And, you know, most shows, you know me, I'm down front, I'm elbowing my way through crowds and whatnot. I sat at the bar with Storm and traded buying drinks while I watched these dudes with cello play metal. I went and saw El Nino there for my mother's birthday one year with my mother in tow with a bunch of awesome local bands. I then joined Nothing But Losers, and I got to play with American Head Charge and Motogrator.
Ooh.
Oh, which was an awesome show, very well attended, very energetic. That's where I met my friend Mandy Allgood.
Mandy.
You know, that was where I shut up, Mandy, wherever you may be. And I played with the boys in Chernobog that night before you were in it, and that was kind of where I gained their respect. By, you know, only losing in ticket sales by 2 tickets to the local boys. Yeah, and they sold, we had 50, they landed at like 46, we landed at 44. And that was after the Boardwalk stopped the you have to pay for it policy. I played with Mushroom Head there, which those of you that are my friends on Facebook saw I shared a promo about that today. The Boardwalk has always treated me well. You know, so to see it go on your worst list, that one hits right there. But it gets my number 4 best.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely goods, but my experiences, again, you'll probably see a reoccurring theme for me is I would love redemptions.
It sounds like other than Claude making you cut a hole in your bass drum, that was less the Boardwalk itself and more just the way everything went that day.
That there's a lot of that.
Okay.
There's a lot of that, like personal experiences, man. Personal experiences. Okay, let's see. So we're still going here. So you know what? I'll make my next worst one. And again, this might come with a little controversy, but I will say this. This next one, I hate going there.
Wait a minute. I didn't even get to do my number 4 worst.
No. You got to go into your... Okay, go ahead.
Well, because the Boardwalk landed on my best list, and I figured that'll make for a shorter show.
All right, go on, sir. Go on.
Number 4, this one's not controversial, but it's kind of going to be surprising to you people. Mike Vanek, I co-signed with you. Gino's Smokehouse in Los Banos was trash.
Yeah.
This was my venue. You know, I had heard this place would be interested in having live music. I went down, talked to the owners. Everything was cool. Then it was a mom had bought this place for her 2 young daughters to learn how to make money. Oh, to have that kind of disposable income. To buy a business to hope to teach your kids about it, right?
Yeah.
They had a bar. They used to be a bar and barbecue joint called Joe Bones in Los Banos. They actually used to have the Moonshine Bandits play there when they first opened up, and you know they pack out. So we did our first show in the bar, and it was okay. The bar is maybe 20 by 20 or 20 by 50.
Okay.
And about half the width is taken up by a bar. So in reality, the dance floor is about 10 feet by 50 feet. And okay, it worked, and we had some crazy times there, but my God, man. Like, I watched, thankfully it wasn't my show, I watched somebody in a mosh pit being the stage area was at the end of the dining room, and the floor area was in the middle of the dining room, and on either side of you, you had fucking dining booths, because this is a barbecue restaurant.
Okay.
Like booths. Like, so like I had kids jumping off booths and like crowd surfing and hella pitting, and I watched somebody one time slam into somebody who slammed into the singer, who slammed into the guitar player of Osmium, and knocked his full stack straight through the fucking window.
No! No way!
Then, needless to say, the owner turned out, one of the daughters I was working with, turned out to start getting into methamphetamines, and we had a gentleman's agreement.
Yeah.
That was my venue. If they wanted to have rappers, cool. If they wanted to have comedy, cool. Slam poetry, get down, but nobody else booked metal bands there. They started booking other metal bands. And started chipping off the old money box.
Mm.
So, your boy got another venue, which will be on my other list. So, Brandon, what is your number 3 most hated venue?
So, like I said, man, I'm going to get some controversy for this, but I absolutely hate, and I go there because sometimes there's amazing shows that you have to go there for, but I just hate going there. I hate the process, I hate the venue, I hate the sound, I hate the seats, I hate the walking, I hate everything about this fucking place. And that is the Shoreline Amphitheater in Mountain View.
Oh, wow.
I hate this place so much.
You know what? I don't have any special love for it. I've seen some fun shows there.
Yeah, me too.
But I was sticking to local venues and whatnot. But no, I'm with it. Proceed.
Nah, man, like, it's as simple as that, man. Like, quite literally, like, you know, Mayhem Fests, you know, I've seen Slayer and King Diamond, yeah, fucking Warp Ozfest, Warp Tour, Sounds of the Underground, you name it. I've seen it there and I've been there, but I fucking hate that place with a passion. You know, security is garbage. You know, their rules are garbage. Their seats are garbage. You know, that's just if you're attending a regular show, not like a festival. Like, so I don't know, man. That's just my beef. I hate going there. I always hate going there. Yes, they have amazing shows. It's just one of those unavoidable things where it's like, all right, well, I want to go see this show, and it's going to be at Mountain View.
It's at Shoreline.
It's at Shoreline, or it's in L.A. It's like, fuck. Like, you know, all right, fine. We'll go to Shoreline. I hate everything about it. The sound. Oh, my God. I think the sound is just fucking terrible. The worst amphitheater I have ever heard, you know, in terms of live music sound. But, yeah. And I did diss you, Mike Vanek, because I didn't really know who you are, and I think it was, I don't even remember why I dissed you. That might have been after X-Fest, which I thought you absolutely hated me for some reason. So I probably did diss you. I don't know. If I did, I'm sorry.
Hey, it's cool. Everybody disses Mike Vanek. Fuck you, Mike Vanek. I love Mike Vanek. I mean, goddamn it.
At one point or another.
You know what, dude? I'm with you. Fuck Shoreline. I've made it out of there one time without a sunburn. And that was just because I went to see Korn. You know what? Twice. Yeah. I went and saw Slipknot there and didn't get a sunburn. But, dude, I'm with it.
Seen amazing bands, but it was always just circumstance on having to go to that venue. I would go to Discovery Park in Sacramento 50 times before I would go back to Shoreline. And Discovery Park is fucking awful.
What about the Ranch or whatever they had that one Aftershock at where you had to like drive down that dirt road for 10 miles? That or Shoreline?
The other place.
I'd rather see, a festival at the other place too, but I said Shoreline or that one weird place.
That one weird place, man.
I didn't go, so I don't remember what the fuck it was called. I just remember all of you fucking complaining about it.
Yeah, that situation did absolutely suck, but once you got there, it was fine. So, Anyways, please proceed. Give me your next one, man, because I'm loving this venue bashing. I feel like I'm. This is very cathartic in my 18 years of being a live musician and concert goer, man. So.
Okay. My number 3. Yeah, my number 3. The Chinatown Youth Center in Fresno, California.
You know, I've heard of it, but I've never been there.
All right, so you know what? Those of you who've ever been to Fresno know it fucking sucks. All right, Fresno is a terrible-ass town with a terrible-ass... I mean, it's very heavily crime-ridden. It's very... broken down and beat up. It was the murder capital of the United States for 20 years or so. Fresno's fucked up, man. And so my boy Thomas, y'all might know him as Little Annie, Tommy Two Tubs, was playing a show in his band Reclaim and Conquer.
Oh yeah.
And also on the card were our boys Morbid Curiosity. And so I was like, all right. And I think we gave Thomas a ride, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thomas needed a ride. So we haul him and his guitar gear down there. And, as far as the show itself, not bad. I mean, not overly well attended, 60, 70 people, but very enthusiastic crowd. Everything's going good. But, my God, dude, we get off the exit and go to Fresno. And this is just, when you see those scenes from a zombie apocalypse movie where it's like 3 weeks after the outbreak and everything's abandoned and boarded up. That was this area of Fresno. And so we get off, we park, whatever. We're enjoying the show as best we can. Actually a really fun time. And then we see a homeless lady getting chased down by a homeless man who is trying to rape her against the side of a building. And she runs into the show. And the guy tries to follow her, so Damian Smith, being, the stand-up gentleman he is, grabs hold of the dude, full Nelsons him, pulls him down. Well, 5 minutes before this, when he first advanced on the lady, the Morbid boys and the Reclaim and Conquer guys got in his face, and he pulled a knife. So at this point, he's already put that away, and he follows the chick in the venue. Rick full Nelsons him, takes him down, is telling him, hey, man, chill out. Like, you cannot go in there. And then it dawns on him, and he starts telling his guitar player, good old Rick Chavez, dude, Rick, get his knife. Mm-hmm. Like, I know he's got it. He already showed it. Get his knife. Well, Rick, being the quick-thinking individual that we all know him to be, winds back and pops the guy. Knocks him unconscious with the first punch. Pops Damien in the nose with the second punch.
Shit.
And then wakes the guy up with the third punch. And then we restrain him. The cops show up. They take him away. But, and myself and a friend of the show, Shane Bookwalter, try and chase the lady down, and she's gone. Mm-hmm. And Shane's fucking 18 feet tall. And so he can move quickly. This lady dusts us. And, so yeah, that's why CYC, though only having attended there once, gets the middle slot, number 3, on my worst venues ever list.
Oh man, you know what? With a story like that, I gotta go into one of my honorable mentions.
Honorable.
This is my honorable mentions. Okay, so on my honorable mentions, before I get to, I believe it's my final one on my worst list.
This was number 3.
Oh, yeah. You're right. You right. Okay. And he has gotten up, and he is moving toward the drums. He's going to play drums on camera? What's going on here? Oh, he's bringing a buddy. Okay, cool.
This is my whole screen. Please keep talking.
So, all right. Here's the story, guys. In my honorable mentions, there is a club out there in Vallejo. that is called Chris's Club. And I know Vanek knows about this place. I know most of you NorCalers know this place. Yes, Kang, it's pronounced. This place is called Chris's Club. And kind of what he described with the China Youth Center out in Fresno, this is just a bad area. And most of Vallejo, Benicia is kind of a bad area unless you like go the area that is nice, which every town is a nice place. But anyways, regardless, still my honorable mention. I'm talking about Chris's Club or Chris Club, since it never had an apostrophe. So
that's because it's not Chris's Club; it's the Chris Club.
Chris Club.
So I guess your name's supposed to be Chris if you go in there. And people have only when they forget my name, they think it's Chris.
You do kind of look like a Chris.
No, I don't. Fuck off, dude. You look like a Chris. You look like a Christopher.
Dude, so I have played Chris Club no less than 50 times. And every single time, there's something going on in the area. Now, Chris Club is just kind of like, it's the epitome of a dive bar. It's that bar that you walk in and it smells like beer. It smells like old beer that has been sitting out for a month. The floor on the inside is worn down. Hell, even the stage. The stage had a dip in the stage. So if you stepped wrong, you broke your damn ankle. Like, no doubt. So you had to be strategic when you were on stage at this place. No, literally, man. I'm serious.
No, I get it. I've been on a couple truck bed stages where you don't step on the corner because it will break and you will fall.
Yeah. Yeah, Benicia is a cesspool. Yeah, probably, yeah. I don't go there unless I'm playing a show, so I don't know.
Unless I'm playing a Chris Club.
Yeah. So, anyways, one particular night, and this is still my honorable mention, so hold tight. One particular night, and there's a lot of stories involved with the club, but one night we're playing a show, we're all outside smoking cigarettes, and all of a sudden we see this chick. She's butt-ass naked with just a thong on, and she is running towards us, power walking towards us very quickly, like this, holding her titties with a thong on, right? She comes, she's looking haggard, she is looking beat up, like she looks like she was just in a fight. Well, sure enough, good thing none of us said anything to this chick because she had a knife on her. You could tell she had a knife right here, a big-ass knife right between her titties. And come to find out, a couple days later, I see a editorial in the local newspaper over there. Local well-known pimp was stabbed 38 times by one of his people, and I don't know what happened regarding that, but he died, and that was the chick who did it.
Probably either just prior or right after.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Oh wow.
So.
Okay.
That is just one of the many stories involving Chris Club that I can tell here. There's a lot of stories, man. A lot of weird stories involving the locals of the area invading upon the venue, things like that. So fun stuff. Anyways.
Okay. So then I ask you, that's an honorable mention. Brandon, what's your number 2 worst venue?
My number 2 worst venue is barely a venue at all. Mike Vanek does know about this place. I believe he mentioned it earlier in his pics on Facebook, I think. And they say that's fucking rad. Okay. So this one is out in the Oakland area. I believe it was Oakland, Berkeley, somewhere around there. This is a punk rock place called the Hazmat.
I've never attended it, but I remember the name.
So, This is literally a squatting house where legitimate punkers lived. So when you walk in, it was like an old renovated warehouse that there's no floors, just concrete. You walk in the door and there's a stage. There's a stage right smack in the middle of the room, and then on the sides of it there are staircases and awnings that lead to wooden made rooms above the stage. So, and then this place is just, it was awful. Like, the reason I call it a venue is because it held shows. It held multiple shows, mostly grindcore and punk rock shows.
Right. Okay.
So, to the worst of the worst, in musical avenues. But on this particular night, the band was louder than the PA system. So you couldn't hear anything from the PA. This was New Year's Eve. So on this night, kind of like my Boardwalk story and kind of like other stories involving it, there's a story mixed with it. So I was with my ex-girlfriend at that time, and we went with 3 or 4 of our other friends. We piled in a tiny, just a tiny car to go out there. Anyways, so we're all partying, we're drinking PBRs because we don't know any better, and we're at a punk rock venue, so fuck yeah, PBRs at a punk rock venue. That's the way to do it.
PBRs anywhere.
Fuck PBRs indeed. But that was before I knew about class and knew about actual alcohol and beer. So, I had my ex there, and within 15 minutes of being there, I realized that my other ex-girlfriend was actually there as well. So the whole night, she's mean-mugging me with her boyfriend at the time. He keeps coming by and shoulder-checking me out of nowhere to the point where we had to, have a pull-apart in the middle of the mosh pit.
You had to have a pull-apart.
We had to have a pull-apart in the middle of the mosh pit, so I didn't beat her boyfriend's ass at the time. My buddy Pablo gets his teeth, 2 front teeth knocked out. Like most punk rock venues, the bathroom in this place was absolutely atrocious to the point where, number one, it did not have a toilet lid. Or, the rim. It didn't have a rim for you to sit down. A seat. Thank you, a seat. It didn't have a seat to sit down on.
My wife hit you with a so what on that, by the way.
You're not even sitting down.
I had to take... Dude, I had those PBR shits. I had to take a shit.
He had to blast a dookie, alright?
My wife says dookie.
Little bitch.
Well, that's what ended up having to happen. So there was no toilet paper. There was no toilet seat. I had to walk up 2 or 3 blocks and take a hover shit in the back of a dumpster in the middle of a dark alley in Oakland. That's
the look on my wife's face on that was priceless. Like, the biggest frown I've ever...
Oh my god. So, that stuff happened. The pull apart happened. The band sucked. The PA sucked. God, let me look at my notes here. God, what else happened that night? Fuck, man. Oh yeah, there was no door on the bathroom as well. That's right.
On the bathroom? The whole bathroom?
The whole bathroom, there was no door, no seat, no toilet paper. And then, I had to take a shit behind the dumpster 2 blocks up in the dark alley in Oakland. And just to make matters worse, on the way home, as we're all piled in this car, half drunk off of PBRs, we came within 100 feet of skidding into an already on fire car in the middle of Highway 4. Hello, New Year's Eve.
That's New Year's Eve in the Bay Area for you, buddy.
Yeah, so I guess the hazmat ended up closing and renovating and kicking out all the punkers like 3 or 4 months after that. But still, that was
sounds like it's kind of necessary.
Yeah, one of those things. So That was my, number 4?
Two.
Number 2? Whatever. Man, this evil cousin has me drunk.
Evil Cousin hits like a dump truck, son.
Woo!
I am glad that Mike Vanek just hit us with his number 5 best list, because I am going to get ready to watch him start hitting me with every expletive in the book for my number 2 worst venue. My number 2 worst venue in California that I have attended, played, and otherwise, been a part of. The Workshop in Ceres, California. Brandon, did you ever attend Workshop shows?
I never got a chance, man. And the very last show that they had there, I was planning on going. Something came up, and then it closed.
Okay. The Workshop went through 3 different eras.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go backwards. Number 3 was towards its end where you played inside, and it was a literal former workshop. It was a tin metal building with a concrete floor, a decent drum riser for your kit, and a great sound system ran by Jason Graff, who's the man. They had a lot of big death and grind bands come through there from like 2010 all the way on to like 2015.
Yeah.
That era of the Workshop was wonderful. Right before that, you used to play out back on a stage. So there's a bunch of rust bucket cars fucking lining the fence area, a decent fucking outdoor stage, and big-ass bands like Anal Blast played there. The Meat Shits played there. It was a blast. But where I'm throwing it in as worst is the original iteration of the Workshop. So, it was still a workshop at the time. Yeah. They had metal works and whatnot going on inside of it. So they had us play out on the porch, and it had that L shape that buildings do. And they literally had the bands just play on the porch in front of the door. And it was literally like going to your boy's backyard and, watching your boy's band play, where you hung out and drank beers. And there was a pit bull on a chain that was there for years that was the sweetest fucking dog.
Aww.
But they had a porta potty that was disgusting.
A porta potty?
Yeah, they had wrecks of cars everywhere, and at this time they brought this like 105 watt PA to push over some of the bigger, better bands in Modesto. And the only source of refreshment was any beer you snuck in, because they would make you take it back out if you tried to sneak it in. Or there was a soda machine that you could pay $1.50 for a semi-cold Coke.
Okay.
So Workshop, sorry, you get my number 2 worst venue for your original iteration and nothing beyond
that. Oh my god. Man, I've always wanted to play there, and I've always wanted to attend, and I missed it. I love shitty places like that. Like, I loved, like, the Hazmat was just a real bad night with a shitty PA system for the most part, but, like, I love the Burnt Ramen. You want to talk about punk rock kind of worn down places? Like,
right, worn down, unsafe places?
Yeah.
Dude, Blackwater Cafe in Stockton, did you ever get to visit that?
Yeah, I went there once, yeah.
Dude, was the show upstairs in the cafe or downstairs in the basement?
Downstairs.
The basement was awesome and horrifying at the same time. Because that was right around the time the Great White thing happened, and all you could think is what happened if one of these bands bought pyro shots. Like, we all gonna die. Nobody's getting up these stairs.
Alright, so before I get to my final worst venue and experience that I've ever done, bro, my honorable mention is a place that I played in San Francisco. I don't know if you have ever heard of this place. Mike Vanek might have. But this place was such a weird idea. And it was just bad. It didn't work. Like, I was in a punk rock band at the time. We were playing with, some indie rock band. And we played in San Francisco at a place called the Brainwash Cafe.
I remember the name.
Do you know what the Brainwash Cafe is?
No.
Okay. The Brainwash Cafe is an L-shaped venue. So if you look at the letter L, that's kind of how it is. It's kind of like one big hallway, right? So the first part of the L is like just a coffee shop, right? And that's where we played. We played in like this little tiny area that was probably about as big as a closet that you couldn't fit a drum set in, which we had to, but it didn't fit. And then 5 feet to the right, through a double door next to the espresso machine, is a laundromat.
What?
Is a laundromat attached to a coffee shop. Oh, Joanna knows what it is. Okay, wonderful. That is the Brainwash Cafe, and it was just terrible. Like, we played on a PA system that was probably, for a drama class in high school. That was maybe like 50 watts. It was, the drum set barely fit in the area that we put it in. So I was playing like this the whole time. I play drums. So it had no business hosting full-size bands. So the concept was just like, we got there and like, what the fuck is this? Coffee in a laundromat. Okay, what the hell? That's weird. But the key moment was, because we showed up, they gave us food and coffee. So that was our payday for the night. And if we were on tour, we could have washed our clothes. But, being an hour out of the way, it wasn't that bad.
I might have still done it. Been like, no, fuck that. I'm going to strip naked and wash my clothes.
Yo.
Right here.
I'm sweaty. I got to clean my shit. But
Okay.
my worst.
Your number one.
My number one is a one-off. And I hope they never host shows ever again, and for my knowledge, they never have. This was a festival show, and probably something I've already told on the show as well before, but I'm looking at this. This was in Oak Canyon. It was a festival thrown by, I don't know, just Wild Fest concerts. And this is
Wild Fest.
Yeah, this was Wild Fest. It was thrown in Oak Canyon down south in Silverado, California. This particular concert was headlined by We Came as Romans, as Blood Runs Black, the Reformers, Capsize, and a band called Freya, which featured ex-Earth Crisis members. That's cool, right? But when you get there, this is why it's the worst. As somebody who has put together small festivals, this drove me absolutely insane. The minute I arrived, I took a look at everything. I went, oh no, this is going to be a fucking shit show. And it was. They took 30 stages. 30, 8 by 10 or 10 by 12 size stage. Probably a 10 by 12 size stage. Put 30 of them next to each other with about a 3 or 4 foot gap, all attached with their own PA systems, and just kind of ran them across the line, and they just kind of swerved all around this canyon as this festival went on, and they had bands play all at the same exact time. The whole time, the whole day. So one stage had 30 people. Another stage had 2 people. Another stage had 500 people. And so on, so on, so on. It was a fucking mess. The sound was terrible. I forgot to bring a carpet, so my drum kit was sliding across the stage as I was playing it. My band at the time broke up because of this show. Everybody was so mad. So it was a long 6 hours back home. Because everyone, I was just like, we're done. We're done.
that sounds pretty rugged. And you've mentioned that a time or two.
So Wild Fest was bullshit. Oh, You know what else isn't bullshit, though? Is donations to the show. And ladies and gentlemen, our donations leader, Leilani Mozinski, sponsor of the show, has just gifted us $25. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Leilani.
Thank you. Thank you, Leilani. Seriously, for the financial talks, for the helping us find guests, for future shows, for your continued support. Thank you. And I will still call and read you a bedtime story in the voice of Macho Man at no charge. Or just as part of everything you've been doing for us. We can film it too. Because, I don't know, we got to do something for you. All we're doing right now is reading your commercials, which, by the way, I saw a couple of you mentioning you could use Leilani Mosinski's financial services. Please, contact her. There's all your info right there on the screen. She's probably in the chat.
Absolutely. She's been pretty active this whole time. So, for about the past hour, we've been pretty negative. But let's start to be a little positive about things, man.
Brandon.
You got more?
You forget, you opened this segment, so I still have my number one worst venue.
Okay, give it to me, buddy.
All right, Mike Vanek, you will be pleased because this crosses paths with you again. My number one most hated venue, the Palm Gardens in Modesto, California. Picture, if you will, ladies and gentlemen, your old, fucked up, former downtown booming center, which is now turned into mostly abandoned train tracks, dive bars, shitty restaurants, and your wayward hookers. In the middle of this town, you always have that bar that has a hotel/apartment complex above it. Ladies and gentlemen, the Palm Gardens was that bar. It not only all of that, but there was the bar area, which was small to begin with, and then there was the kitchen area, which was maybe 20 by 15 feet, and the 15 wide was where you had to play. So you're kind of slammed into a corner. And those of us like me who weren't 21 through most of our career for the Palm Gardens, we had to watch other bands through the window, except on the off nights when the owner didn't catch me sneaking in, which were more often than not. But aside from the fact that in the morning the kitchen area made killer breakfast and phenomenal soup, guy was dealing drugs out the top room. We wrote a song about it. It was a parody of Hotel California, but it was the Hotel Palm Gardens. And they're selling coke from the second story at the Palm Gardens.
Selling coke from the second story at the Palm Gardens.
Like, you just had to go to room 6 and ask for Mike. Tell him you know Mike Vanek and you know what I like.
If you know Mike, Mike knows what I like.
Exactly. But I mean, this is just the shittiest venue, man. Cracked out venue. Some nights they'd flip the lights on and be like, y'all gotta go. Y'all gotta go. And some nights they'd put up with us till 3, 4 in the morning. They didn't give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
But this, so a backstory. I'm gonna actually go your direction go on one of my personal experiences why this venue was terrible, and my wife is gonna love that she's sitting side saddle for this.
And she's staying awake. She's never awake during these podcasts. Congratulations, hey Jen.
She doesn't have to. She raised her beer to you. She doesn't have to work tomorrow. So, anyway, my first time ever as a licensed driver driving in Modesto. I'm driving my '71 Ford Pinto, which I've aptly named Stella. Mike Vanek, you know better than to try to call me during a podcast. What is the matter with you? Yes, I got your text message. I'll answer you in due time. Probably not, though. I've been drinking, and I still have a Monday motivation to do.
My friend, I have to cut you off. We have another donation coming through on our end. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Joanne has gifted us $25 to the show. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Madam J, my wife would like you to pet your cats for her, and I, on the other hand, I was thinking against it, but I'm gonna crack this campfire stout and raise it to you.
Indeed. Thank you, ladies.
Oh my God, that's good. So anyway, I'm getting back to driving my 71 Ford Pinto. My wife used to work at a building that was directly across the parking lot from the Palm Gardens. And she was going to take her lunch when I was supposed to get there. She's running late on her lunch. I'm driving around Modesto, kind of lost, because it's the first time I've ever driven in a bigger town. And I'm driving by the train tracks about a block and a half away. And I look up and I see this woman crying. I look her in the eyes, and she's like, and I'm like, man, that sucks. She looks at me, and I was like, oh, hell no. And she looks at me and goes, can you give me a ride? And I'm like, do you know where the Palm Gardens is? Yeah, get in the car.
Get in the
and
car,
I'm like,
bitch.
I'll take you that far. And she starts trying to tell me it's over on McHenry and whatnot, a couple miles down. I'm like, no, bitch, I know it's on 9th Street. So we're driving. She keeps trying to get me, and she's like, can you turn the air conditioner on? And I'm like, it's a Pinto. like, no. And she starts telling me her face is on fire, and now I realize I'm dealing with a drugged out hooker. And so I finally pull into the parking lot of the Palm Gardens because I spotted, even though she's trying to tell me I'm pulling the wrong parking lot. And as I pull into my parking space, who is standing right there waiting for me? The woman that a couple years later would wind up saying I do and marrying me.
Even though you picked up a fucking hooker.
I just picked up a hooker accidentally, all right? I didn't, pick up a hooker. I just picked up a hooker.
She just happened to be a hooker.
Right. Who sounded like a dude. But I mean, dude, the Palm Gardens suck. I can't stress that enough. Man, everybody left as soon as I dissed on the Palm Gardens.
No. I guess the show cut out, so they're trying to come back, I guess.
That's the whole story again.
Go on.
Wait, what? Wait, so the show cut out, but we're back?
We kept going. It's just it's an internet thing. So we're good though. We're good. Keep going.
That's what I got, dude. The Palm Gardens sucked. I accidentally picked up a hooker. That venue just fucking sucked.
Yo. So, all right. So I'm gonna shoot that link back out to people so they can see it real quick before we get on to our positive things, because this has been a fantastic show.
We didn't get copywritten or
no.
talking shit about hookers or the guy from the Palm Gardens is watching the show
No. So, all right, so I posted it back. So basically, we're having a great show. Basically, YouTube is like, man, you guys have been doing this for a while, and it's just having stream issues. So we didn't get cut off. It's still going, but I guess some viewers got cut off.
All right.
So
links reposted.
Indeed. What the hell? Where did my... Wait. Oh, there it is. Anyways, loving my generous UPS. Oh. A YouTube thing, more likely. Thanks for coming back, guys. We appreciate it so much. You guys have been amazing to us. Much love and respect to everybody. But we're not done yet. We have the happy, positive section of our venues, as we just dished on 10 venues and more. So let's get to some positive stuff, man. I started last time. Why don't you give me one of your positives first?
Well, my number, I get to skip number 4 because it was on your worst, so I praised it. So my number 5 top favorite venue of all time. This was another one of my spots. If you attended shows in Los Banos between 2003, 2005, you got to see a lot of great shows happen here. You got to watch Stigmata release their first album. You got to watch Isolate release their epic album, Silence Kills. You got to watch Hostility show up in Crush. You got to see Sickle, Counterwar, Seep, and All Was Lost, all the Suicide Hand shows, and probably a couple others I'm forgetting in the middle there. Jan's Pub and Grub, Los Banos, California. Now, this was a little bar that was opened back when Los Banos was still growing. This was at the end of the parking lot where Freshville is now. And it was a bar that owned the bar and restaurant side. And then they also had a spare room that was kind of, you can rent it out for special parties, birthdays, holidays, and of course, metal shows. So, we worked out a fair door split. And, if you were 21, you could go in the bar. If you weren't, you could not. I was not. Yet, due to the influx of income I tended to bring them, I was allowed to do everything I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Which included drinking underage. And so this place just let me play host to all those great shows I just listed and more. On my 21st birthday, I drank there. 2 days before my 21st birthday, I really drank heavily there. I even was cool with other promoters, namely Mike Vanek using it, when at his show, somebody kicked a hole in the goddamn wall. And, no, those are my old Los Banos friends listening tonight. You'll remember fondly Jan's Pub and Grub. So, Brandon, what is your number 5 best venue?
Well, man, I gotta bring it back home. And by the way, just to mention as we're in the chat here, Joanne, I hate on the Y too, man. It's hot. The sound is garbage. Usually people just don't watch the show. They usually just hang upstairs and stay at the bar. I don't know. Just...
See, and that's another one. It did not make my top list. But I enjoy the shit on the Y. When I lived in Sacramento, that was my bar. I went to shows there. I went drinking there. On the Y was my bar.
Yeah.
So, I love On the Y, but I have had more... You know what? Every time I've been fortunate enough to play there, it's kicked ass.
And by the way, shout out to Mike Vanek, says he just sent us an Amazon gift card. So, thank you, Mike Vanek, man. That's awesome. That's so cool.
Gotta give him the applause that we've been giving everybody else.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. You guys have funded us for a few more months, because... It's not a lot of money, but we do spend money.
Yeah. So, with that being said, my best venue, my number 5, is local at home to me. It's one that I have played, probably 50 times as well. I frequented probably as many shows. It is a punk rock, rockabilly venue by trade. This is the Red Hat in Concord.
I knew you were going to go there.
The staff is awesome. The owner is awesome. He's always pouring absinthe down our throats throughout the whole night for free. Mostly just getting fucked up. Shows are only about $5, and still the shows are awesome. The sound is decent. Always a good time. Never a bad time. The crowd is great. The bands are great. The staff is great. The venue is great. Support local venues. That's my number.
I've played for you at the Red Hat.
Yeah.
I've went and attended shows where you had a Italian black metal band come through.
Oh yeah, they were fun.
How did you pronounce that?
I don't remember what they're called.
But those 2 who've now turned into 3 badass kids from Washington or Oregon, Grave Witch.
Yeah, Grave Witch.
I've seen Toy Called God at the Red Hat. I played a Christmas show at the Red Hat where my band, we thought we were going to steal the show by dressing up as, Christmas characters and Santa Claus, elves, reindeer, and all that shit. And then Morbid Curiosity brought fucking snow. Yes. And a Winter Wonderland, and Rick came in as Krampus, and Shane was Jesus, and
not only did he come in as Krampus, he came in on stilts.
They were like lifter boots.
Yeah. So that was pretty epic. Red Hat in Concord is awesome. When live shows happen again, Make sure you go out there. It's a small, tiny dive bar, but it is so much fun.
And even better is the McDonald's down the street that has the table with the light-up glow fixtures on it.
Oh, I've never seen that. I've never been there.
Yep.
That's good, man. Hey, give me your number 4. Let's fire through these, because, sometimes positive stories don't have the same effect as negative stories. So let's see what we got.
As previously discussed, we already jacked my number 4. My number 4 is the Boardwalk in Sacramento.
Indeed. What's your favorite show you've ever been to at the Boardwalk?
I want to say it was the time I played with Mushroomhead.
Ooh.
You know what? It was just a great show. Everybody that knows me knows I'm a huge Mushroomhead fan. These guys are awesome. I've seen them at DNA Lounge, which gets an honorable mention from me, because their pizza was phenomenal. Their staff was always great to us. Even when we had to carry a guitar player up and down the stairs, they made way for us. But the Boardwalk, man, just Mushroomhead was incredible, and I was hopping stage to barricade, diving over their water drums to a full 500 capacity house. Unlike your issues with the Boardwalk, I've never had a bad time there.
Good shit.
So that's why it got number 4 for my list. Claude's a dick, but I always worked it out. Everything went kosher, and we had a good time.
All right. Now give me your number 3.
What about your number 4?
Okay, I'll give you my number 4. My number 4, this is dedicated to Al, and this is actually a two-parter. I'm going to place it as a tie. My number 4 is Holy Diver / Red House. The reason I put them in the same category is because essentially, stage-wise, sound-wise, light-wise, they're the same venue.
I get that.
Everything was top-notch at that venue. Red House had its Red House in Walnut Creek had its things about it. The management wasn't very good, but what was good was when they had shows, you knew they sounded amazing and they looked amazing. And it's the same thing with Holy Diver. Every time I played at Holy Diver, I've gotten opportunities to play with big bands, or at least good-sized bands, people that I looked up to at the time, and look up to now. So all sorts of crazy, awesome experiences at the Holy Diver. Al says he met his fiance at the Holy Diver. Hell yeah, you did! I love the DNA Lounge as well, Al. Their pizza's amazing.
Dude, their vegan sausage pizza was fucking one of the best things I've ever had in my life.
Oh, I never had that one. I
got it on a whim. I was like, I had pizza last night. I want something different.
Yeah. So the only negative thing I could ever put up for Holy Diver specifically was literally just like their stairs.
and the back stairs. It was one thing to go up the front, but carrying gear down 3 flights of twisting stairs. Oh my God.
It's brutal.
But that is how I met Loki, who played with Michael Graves.
Absolutely. I wasn't going to mention the name, but absolutely. Dude, so many awesome memories at Holy Diver. When venues open up again, I hope to God Holy Diver is still around.
For every reason.
For every reason. I love that place. I don't live in Sacramento, but I will travel to go to shows there. I will play there anytime, given an opportunity. Amazing venue. So
I will still cut promos on your jersey on stage at Holy Diver.
You know what? Mike Vanek, by the way. Mike Vanek, you have promos coming to you.
You know what? I was actually going to throw it out in a private chat, but you know what? Since we didn't get a chance to talk today, here's my challenge to you guys for our upcoming promos. Because after Mike Vanek peeped me and Brandon's promos from 4 years ago today, he decided he wanted in on this. So, gentlemen, Mike Vanek, listen up. Brandon, listen up.
Mm-hmm.
My challenge to you is we cut Christmas promos on each other.
What?
'Tis the season to cut promos Fa la 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 la, go fuck yourselves, and let's hear your best Christmas promos in my inbox or live on Facebook. I don't give a shit.
Okay, you got it.
The gauntlet has been thrown down. Sir, I demand satisfaction.
And sir, I demand your number 3.
Number 3, best venue. Sadly, Mike Vanek is probably going to be the only person in the chat, and if there's any of you hiding amongst that, thank you for hanging out with us, and please speak up right now. Number 3. In the little hamlet of Merced, California, we used to have this old theater that used to show movies. Hell, showed movies the whole time we were attending it. And it was on Main Street. And it was known as the Mainzer Theater in Merced, California. Ladies and gentlemen, I cannot explain to you the awesomeness of this venue. Wonderful stage. Wonderful big-ass stage for you to play on. Looked very professional, about 3 feet high. In addition to that, it had a beautiful curtain set up that you could draw or not draw. Some bands did, some didn't. It had a projector screen where they played the band's logos behind it.
Nice.
But more than anything, I loved walking in, and it was like the old box office where there were your snacks and beer that you bought. And then you walked through the double doors, and you were now in essentially a movie theater, but down front, between where it would be the front row and the screen, was a nice pit area where we weren't allowed to mosh, but we just might have a couple 100,000 times. And this place played host to some of the best New Year's, Halloween, and any other Saturday night shows I ever spent. So Mainzer in Merced, California, you just got bought out and are coming back.
What?
Those of you who remember Eliminate, Sunday's Dilemma, Zero Tolerance, Isolate, Counterbore, Osmium, Hostility, and Lacquer. I raise my campfire stout and say, here's the better days, and here's the return of the Mainzer in 2021. Mainzer, California, you get the middle slot on my list. Number 3. Mr. The Boss.
Yes, sir. So my
number 3.
Number 3. So, as we're speaking highly, I got to play this place when I was on tour. I've never attended a show there, but man, playing this place was awesome. The vibe was awesome. The experience was awesome. The things I got to do in the venue were doubly awesome. This place is called Barmageddon. I don't know if you've ever heard of Barmageddon, but it's
Barmageddon in Tulare.
That's right, Tulare, California.
Oh, fuck yes, dude.
Dude, it's a video game themed bar. They got arcade machines. You could literally play Xbox or PlayStation at the bar.
On a projector screen.
On a projector screen. Like, there's just so much awesomeness to it. It reminded me of like a smaller Modesto Virtual, but better.
You know what? I wouldn't say better. Virtual got on my honorable mentions, and so does Barmageddon for the same reason. All the video games and all the cool things you could do, the only reason I thought the Virtual was better was it was all ages.
Yeah. Okay, I'll give you that, but my experience with this venue and a tour stop, top notch. Like, they even had like a little green room that you can go in, which, there wasn't
allowed to do anything in.
Yes. And they literally, it was one of those venues where they're like, hey, you could go in the green room, but don't sit on the couch. Why don't you want to sit on the couch? Just trust me, don't sit on the couch.
Don't sit on the couch.
Yeah, just don't do it. It's hello, Drunk Vanek. I concur. The Barmageddon was awesome. So I hope they are still around, and I hope that they will prosper soon and come back once COVID chills out. But yeah, man.
The best thing about Barmageddon, aside from all the cool shit we already mentioned, was the fact that it's below street level. It's like an old school ass speakeasy.
Yes.
You walk in and then immediately have to go down a flight of stairs.
Agreed. So, all right, that was my number 3. Give me your number 2.
My number 2, and I'm surprised this has not come out of your mouth yet on your best venues.
I'm sure it will.
But my number 2 is the legendary Pound in San Francisco. Those of you who have been, oh my God, you know it was the quintessential heavy metal, punk rock, grindcore, and all of us Outcast music. It was out there on Pier 60. Anybody remember?
7? I don't know.
It was something like that. Pier 67 in San Francisco. You had to go down Cesar Chavez into a bad neighborhood, go all the way down till you hit the ocean, and then make a quick left, and you were in the parking lot of the Pound. Man, I saw Twisted there on the Mirror Mirror tour.
Yep.
I saw the Psychopathic All-Stars tour there. Before they were worth anything, I saw the mighty All Shall Perished at the Pound. I went and saw our friend of the show from Anadonia, Andrew Holzbar, in Hostility, and Pier 96, by the way, my wife has confirmed, and his very short-lived side project, the Helletons, all at the legendary Pound in San Francisco. That was where I met the Rivals. Matt Reed and all his boys. I saw Man-Made God there. I saw Breach the Vending Machine, Something Must Die, every local heavy hitter, so many bigger bands. And it was the ugliest, nastiest venue. All the shit you mentioned about that punk rock venue in Oakland, where there was no door on the toilet stall, there was no toilet paper, there was no toilet seat, just a bunch of fucking stickers.
Yep.
And I didn't give a shit, because the Pound was fucking incredible. And every moment there is a memory I will cherish my entire life.
Yo, absolutely. Like, I got to see Danzig, Guar, RU36 at the Pound. I got to see Boy Sets Fire there. I got to see, I got to see Unearth and Lamb of God. I got to see...
You got a shitty El Nino story from there?
Oh, man. Okay, long story short, I got to open...
El Nino's a dick.
Yeah, I got to open for El Nino at the Pound, and we're the opening band, obviously, and we had to set our drummer on the side because obviously their drummer was like, yo, I got a big-ass drum set, I need it on the drum riser, yada, yada, yada. So at the time, I was just a front man. So I was jumping around on stage and, doing my thing on stage, and I got on the drum riser, and, like, security guards just kind of came out from the back going, oh, hell no, you better fucking get down from there. And, it giving me warnings while I'm playing my set. And as I got off stage, we're bringing our stuff back there, and we're loading it in the car, and my guitar player is like, you know what? I don't care about El Nino. Do you care about El Nino? I'm like, no, not really. I'm like, all right, let's just go home. And we tried to go home, and they locked the back door on us. And we tried getting out, and they wouldn't let us out with the specific instruction of, El Nino says that nobody is allowed to leave until they are done playing. What? What is this, some Madonna bullshit? Like, El Nino has stated that nobody is allowed to leave the venue until they are done playing. Like, fuck you, El Nino. Like,
but more importantly, didn't you raid somebody's cooler?
Oh, yeah, we did. So, in between the sets, before they played, as somebody who was on the show, I just thought, okay, hey, man, there's a cooler there. It's for the band. It's cool. I'm going to go grab myself a soda. I go back there, and the drummer and I think either, like, the guitar player or bass player, I don't remember, were just like, yo, that doesn't belong to you. You can't have that shit. I'm like, what do you mean you can't have that? This is for El Nino. You're not allowed to have this. Like, just trying to threaten me and do all sorts of stupid shit. So eventually we found the promoter, and the four of us cornered her in her office and basically told her if she didn't open the doors, we're going to wreak havoc upon the venue. And eventually, like 5 or 10 minutes later, she opened the doors and we left. But it was still like, Jesus Christ, man. Like, I love the Pound. Nothing but good experiences, but playing with El Nino for Monica Savage with Savage Productions was just a fucking train.
Oh my god, I forgot about Savage Productions.
Yeah, so that's my story. I didn't mean to make it negative again. We're on positive stuff right now. So
It's cool. You love the Pound. But Brandon, what's your number 2?
all right, so my number 2 is... What is my number 2? Okay, my number 2 is the Oakland Metro.
Okay.
Not necessarily the last installment of the Oakland Metro, but the Oakland Metro that had Devastated Fest 2 off of 2nd or 3rd Street in Oakland. You know, once again, I love the dive bar feel, and this is just a big-ass venue that felt like a small dive bar. You know, the vibe was always good, the sound was always good, the stage was awesome.
Awesome.
Like, you know, I've seen great shows, I've played cool shows.
You put on great shows.
Oh,
The Road Vikings took 3 hours.
Hood Slam. Hood Slam. I've seen many a Hood Slam at the Oakland Metro, and that was fucking amazing. But yeah, man.
100% with it, man. Oakland Metro's dope. Didn't make my list, but it's on the honorable mentions for certain.
All right, give me your number 2, number 1. I don't know where we're at. I'm drunk.
Oh, you didn't want to talk more about the Oakland Metro? I figure.
Dude, like, I've had awesome experiences. Devastated Fest 2 was a clusterfuck within the first hour, and then once everything smoothed out, it was amazing. I got to see the Misfits there, Hood Slam. Oh my god, so many black metal bands. I can't even shit, dude. But yeah, never a bad experience in a shitty neighborhood, but always amazing.
Yeah, really shitty neighborhood, but yet it never felt like it. Like, the Oakland Metro, I'm going to co-sign with you. Devastated Fest was the, D2, was the second show I'd ever played there. I played for our boy Mike Vanek with Band of Orcs there when I was in Mutilate the Dead. And, you know, it was a fun venue. The stage is huge. It's big. It's, it was a great time. Everything about the Oakland Metro scores points for me.
Yep. All right, now give me your number 1, because my number 1 is so nostalgic to me.
So is mine.
Okay.
Number 1 venue. And once again, I cross paths with Mike Vanek here. The one and only Fat Cat Music House and Lounge.
All right, I knew that was coming.
Oh, dude, I'm sorry, man. I thought long and hard. I debated, argued, but as soon as I started saying, okay, here are my top 5, where's Fat Cat fall? 1. Number 1. Where else did I get to see Twisted, Taproot, Mushroom Head, Deicide, Mortis, the Geno Torturers, Il Nino, Devil Driver, Static X, and Kill Switch Engage?
Yes.
All under one motherfucking roof. Where not only did I see all these huge bands, but there were nights I played in a local band, sometimes to a lot of people, sometimes to very few people, where I was treated like a superstar. Where did I spend my... It started off as the worst birthday of my life. My car got broken into. I was hungover as shit. I was held up at work an extra couple hours. But later on that night, I smoked a joint with a guy in the bathroom, bought him a beer, and then went on to see Flaw and hang out with and super annoy Chris Bowles all night because it was my birthday and that shit sucked until that moment. Nowhere else but the Fat Cat Music House and Lounge. Where did I get to close the show and be one of the last bands to grace the stage? Do inappropriate things upstairs.
Yep.
Do everything I ever wanted to do. All my rock star dreams. Ladies and gentlemen, nowhere else but number 1. The Fat Cat Music House and Lounge. Which, by the way, if you want to loan me $1.7 million, it's up for sale again.
Leilani, let's talk money.
Hey, yeah, Leilani, I need your planning. How do we get some more sponsors like you, but with even deeper pockets and longer arms? Because I need to buy the Fat Cat Music House and Lounge, turn it back into its former glory, and in 2021, make myself a millionaire as the concert promoter I was always born to be.
Mm-hmm. Al Baker asked the question, have any of you guys ever been to the Wiltern in Los Angeles? No, I have not.
Nope.
I've been to the Joint that used to be down there, and the Chain Reaction and the Doll Hut, but I've never been to the Wiltern. I banged 3 of my exes in that bar.
All right, Mr. Blacker, enough stalling.
All right.
As one of the most experienced people I know, your number 1 venue.
You know, ironically enough, Mr. Kanga Bear himself actually called it out in the chat. My number 1 is Slims SF.
I was waiting for Slims to come up on somebody's list.
Slims, I have 4 times more memories than I do at the Pound. I have attended so many shows at Slims. I got to open up for Diamond Head and watch them play Am I Evil from the stage at Slims. Like, I can't beat that, man. I got to go in the back and hang out with Diamond Head and just talk shit with them around the round table in the green room of their dressing room, while we had our own dressing room full of snacks and drinks and beers, like all sorts of cool stuff. Like, Slims was awesome. Slims also gave me the opportunity and memory with Every Time I Die on my actual birthday day. On February 21st, I went to go see Every Time I Die. And
What year?
Oh gosh, about 4 years ago, I think.
Okay, I remember that.
Yeah, so, you know, I had a goal that specific night. I had brought in my backpack just the cover of one of their vinyl records. And my goal was to literally just get the autograph of every member of the band.
Of Every Time You Die's death in the band, yeah.
And historically, you know, typically you might get Jordan Buckley. And by the way, this is one of my favorite bands.
So this is your favorite band?
Yeah. You might get Jordan Buckley, who's always out there talking to people. You might get Andy Williams, the Butcher from AEW. You almost never get the drummer, and Keith Buckley, the singer, is the guy who's never there. He never comes out. The minute he finishes the set, he's gone. But this night, I talked to Jordan Buckley, and he talked to me for about 5 minutes, signed my thing, cool as hell. I've talked to him probably 25, 30 times in person. And then the drummer at the time, their drummer, his name was Daniel Davison. And he came out and he was like, "Hey man, are you trying to get autographs?" I'm like, "Hey man, look, it's my birthday. My goal is to get everyone's autograph on here, yada yada yada." He's like, "Don't worry, man, I got you." Took my my casing, went to the back, came back 5 minutes later. He had the entire band signed the vinyl record casing. And then not only that, came out with a Violent Gentleman hat specifically from Andy Williams. You know, he's like, "Hey man, they're doing their thing, but they just want to let you know happy birthday." I was like, "Yeah, dude, best thing ever, bro." So that was a good night. My memories stem all the way back to AFI when they were a punk band. Seeing AFI do their thing at Slim's. Seeing the Misfits do their thing with Michael Graves at Slim's.
I saw Twisted and ICP at Slim's. I saw the 20 Dead Flower Children for the first time at Slim's. I saw Twisted on the Freak Show tour with Shovel at Slim's.
Yes.
I get it.
Absolutely, man. So, I have so many memories. I was literally heartbroken when I heard that they died. You know.
Yeah, that they did not survive the COVID-19 panic.
And at the beginning of COVID. I was like, "Oh, yeah, man."
Like, you know what? No, we're done. We're good.
Yeah, like, that's enough. So yeah, man, I miss Slim's. That was my all-time favorite venue I've ever frequented. I got to play there once. Fortunately, like, our performance wasn't great, but getting to see Diamond Head play Am I Evil, standing on the stage was amazing. So that's one of my final moments at Slim's.
That's an incredible moment, dude. No, and Slim's was a hell of a venue. Like, when I played the DNA, I tried to sneak into Slim's.
And that's another honorable mention too. I love the DNA Lounge. I love the lower floor. I even love the upstairs. Like the stairs suck, but the sound in the venue is awesome. The staff, as long as you're good with the staff are great to you.
Yeah, I had a great time both playing upstairs at the DNA Lounge and then attending a show at the regular stage of the DNA Lounge. DNA Lounge gets some love. The Daily Grind in Turlock, a little coffee shop that just let us have metal bands, gets some love. Anywhere Cafe in Stockton gets a lot of love. Stockton Legion Hall, man. Fuck. I love On the Y in Sacramento. I'm sorry everybody else hates it, but that was my bar. Rooster's Roadhouse in Alameda. Yeah, but you know what? They let us go for a long time, Brandon. iMusicCast in Oakland?
iMusicCast was awesome. Pioneers at the time, man. They would stream their shows live before anybody else ever did it.
Yeah, it was a special treat.
This is way back in 2005, 2006.
Before that, 2003, 2004. Cactus Club in San Jose.
The Depot in Concord. Bourbon Street in Concord.
Street. Oh, Bourbon Street. I saw Uncle there the first time. I
got to open up for All Shall Perish and In This Moment at Bourbon Street. And 3 Inches of Blood.
And Brandon and I could just sit here going back and forth all night on venues.
I gotta respond to something in the chat. So Jill says she made out with Davey at Slim's. Is that
Davey Havoc?
You made out with Davey Havoc?
Not me, right?
No. She said Davey March. I don't know who that is. I hope she's talking about Davey Havoc, because I have a story involving Davey Havoc where Davey Havoc of AFI is legendarily straight edge. Like, he has always been straight edge. But I was actually at a party in a warehouse loft in Oakland years ago where I actually served him vodka shots. So I don't know if it was a lapse of judgment on his part, but for one time or another, Davey Havoc, his lion ass was not straight edge.
Hey, you know what? Maybe the edge got unstraightened a little bit. But Brandon, Jesus Christ, how have we talked about venues this long? I love it.
Oh man, this is one of our longest shows outside of having interviews, and you guys stuck with it, so big round of applause to all of you guys. This has been our worst and favorite venue stories and picks for episode 91 of Talking Shop with the Boss and the Box. I hope everyone had a great time on this Monday evening.
Yep, sorry it had to be on Monday. Thank you for cutting Raw short for us.
Hey, we can still watch Monday Night Raw's main event.
Hey, but you know what? What we really want to do is go ahead and thank all the people that definitely support us, starting with Jordan Marin Harrison, and of course Mike Vanek, longtime friend of the show. Go check out his blog at mikevaneksucks.blogspot.com. And most importantly, go check out our one, only, and solo sponsor, Leilani Mosinske and Leilani Mosinske's Financial Services. We promise you will be impressed, and she can help you change your life.
That's right. And most importantly, thank you for everybody who has donated to us as well. You can donate to us through Venmo donate to us through Venmo, Boss and the Box. So go do that. Send us your money so we can pay for this podcast every single month. And you know what? that is our show. I had a good time. I hope you guys did. It looks like you did since you stuck with us for nearly 2 hours. And, man, we don't know what we're doing next week. If we're doing anything at all.
We'll be back next week. We
So-
don't know what the schedule is.
No. So we're specifically waiting for Lunchbox's work schedule to kind of layer out before we come back to a regularly scheduled program. We're not going away. We're not leaving. We're just waiting to see where the tide falls.
But we do promise you the usual bonus content, Monday motivations, maybe the occasional gorilla show here, some new commercials. Brandon, I think you should post the new introduction just to get some people interested in what we do.
You know what?
And
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, don't worry. We'll serve you up something special for Christmas because that's just how we get down here.
So, just because I spent some time on it, we will leave you with this. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the boss, and you can find... Wait. I am the boss, and you can find me at the real Brandon Blacker on Instagram. You can find my band Suburban Paranoia everywhere. SuburbanParanoia.com. Go pick up Never Dies on suburbanparanoia.bandcamp.com. And you know what? Where can they find you, Lunchbox?
You can also find me at the Almighty Lunchbox on Instagram. You can find me at Dave Ussery, that is USSERY, on Facebook. Come talk with me personally. Hey, we'd love to have you on the show. If you're a wrestler, performer, MMA coach, you got something interesting to talk about, hey, we got time to talk to you. That's how we get down. You can find my band, Nothing But Losers, on Facebook, Nothing But Losers on Instagram, Nothing But Loser, that is no S on Twitter. But most importantly, you can find this show at Talking Shop with the Boss and the Boss on Facebook. Don't forget to subscribe to the Talking Shop with the Boss and the Box Facebook group chat where we shitpost memes, wrestling, and other bullshit all day long. You can find us at Talking Shop with the Boss and the Box on Instagram, Talking_shop on Twitter, and definitely join us as often as you can at Talking Shop with the Boss and the Box on YouTube, where we do these live shows for you when we can, every time we can. But we've got a whole library of video content stemming back to our earliest interviews and continuing on to tonight's episode and here on out. Get some Monday morning motivation. Watch the boss react to some fun shit. And guys, you never know where you're going to see us because that's just how the boss and the box do.
Alright, so because I am a glutton for punishment and I spent a couple hours putting this together, I'm just going to play the brand new intro all over again as we leave you tonight. Good night, everybody. See you for episode 92 soon.